Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Railway Empire, Great Britain and Ireland. Let's just allocate that security guard. There we go. So Manchester is getting really close to hitting 40,000, as you can see, which means it's about, there we go, it's just opened up a new business. Now, I want to put a weaving factory in there so we can get a start on making some tweed, but it's expensive, 500 grand, and we haven't got a credit note available yet. We do kind of need to pay one of those off. So that's an expensive kind of proposition for us. I also need to get this line up and running properly as well. Now, to start with, we just have the one track available. That's going to be enough for now. I'm going to bring this along a bit more. This is my spacer line. I'll bring that spacer line out to about there. And merge this onto here as cleanly onto the corner as I can. Try and make the corner a bit as natural as I possibly can. I think that's probably going to be about right. Let's see. We'll do it there. We're just going to have a single train running on this, just because we need the extra income right now. So let's put a passing loop in. It's just a temporary one. This will be changed going forward, just so I can try and get two trains moving through this section, because it's a long line. There we go. Let's drop a signal there and there. Same again over here. There and there. And I'm going to drop another signal. Well, I'm going to drop a supply tower on this line here. And I'm going to drop that there. And again, we might remove that and reposition it a bit later. But it also creates another kind of signal break for us. Actually, that's probably going to cause a problematic signal break. Now, one thing I have noticed with the new update is that when you take a supply tower out, it now actually removes the track completely as well, which is a little frustrating, given that you have to then put that little piece of track back in, but it's not a big thing. Let's actually put the supply tower up here instead. Let's drop it there. Again, we can remove that and reposition it later, but I do want to get this train running as quickly as I can. There we go. So let's get a rocket on that and get a second rocket on that line as well. There we go. The increase in population is going to increase the demand for ham hock over here, which is also going to increase the demand for meat in this town as well. So we'll be able to get more meat moving back and forth between our two cities. We take a look at our objective. You can see that 7 of our trains are running. We have an average balance of $4,500 across the 8 trains needed. That doesn't mean that every train has to have a balance of $4,500. It just means that the total average across all 8 trains needs to break out that way. And of course, some of our trains are not going to be that profitable. Others are going to be very profitable indeed. This train here is going to be able to haul quite a lot of cargo per trip, but it's going to take time for it to get there, so it kind of balances out how much it's going to make by how much it's going to cost to run the route. Our passenger trains are not going to be amazingly profitable, but they are going to be fast.
As it is quite observable in general,
oh, and there we go. Actually,
your
one of our trains has just hit
proves my point.
what we needed.
The railway arouses great interest right now. Your next goal shall be the heart of the United Kingdom, London. I am afraid we have to do a lot of persuading. Many landlords are refusing to sell their land. and thus they are blocking our way to London. The people of Birmingham have allowed themselves to be convinced by our recent success, and a portion of the way is cleared now. If we help to establish the industry, it will probably convince even skeptics of other regions.
So there we go, we've got 2 new tasks, and the first of those was to connect 2 cities, each with a population of at least 35,000. We've done that, and by achieving that, that has now opened up the route to Birmingham. So from Birmingham to open up the next parcel of land, we need to produce 60 loads of tweed. Now, to produce the loads means we have to physically make them ourselves. So we can't just allow a business to generate the tweed and then deliver it somewhere. We have to physically produce it, which means we need to own the business in one of these towns. Now, we do have a wall connection over there. We also have a wall connection over here as well. So we will probably look to this connection here and bring the wool in that way. We'll see how that goes. But we need to pay 500,000 to get that route up and running. Now, we don't have that. What we do have is a target of 224 plus an extra 10 to 12 grand or so in fees. So we need around 235 grand, because it'll come down a little bit, I think, by the time we've got enough to pay for it. So around 235 grand is what we need to pay off that bond, and then we should hopefully be able to take out a bond at a higher value, clear the other bond, and then take out another bond at a higher value, and that should hopefully get us closer, if not all the way that we need, to getting the 500 grand to pay for a tweed facility here in Manchester. Whether or not we can do that before it decides to automatically put something in there or not is another question. So this is where it gets a bit tricky and a bit kind of can we do it kind of thing. Just got to hope everything works out quite nicely for us. Let's find another freight train that we can stick a security guard on. That one's got one already. Not that one. This one. There we go. Yeah, that's one of our back and forth trains. Got another personnel available. As a professor, we don't want the professor. We're getting close to having enough cash. Oh, that train's starting to break down. That's not good. There we go. We've got enough cash now to pay off the bond. So let's pay that one off. We had to pay 8 grand in fees in the end. And now we've got a bond. It's only 313. It's not as much as I was hoping it was going to be. But we can use that to pay this one off. Take out another bond at 319. And now we just need to get another 87,500. And we can afford... Oh, no, it's already put the tweed facility in, look. That's a problem. So, we can buy this, actually. Actually, they've worked out cheaper for us. We can buy it. There's no raw materials there. There's no one bidding against us, because the AI isn't active yet. So we've actually saved a bit of cash there. So we have the weaving facility in place. Now we need to get some material in there. I'm just looking to see which one's quicker and closer. It's going to be this one. So let's put a small station in. Let me see. Let's place it here. On the run towards Birmingham. So again, we've got the option of routing down there if we want to. Put it like that. Now this, we want to route in on this line over here. And again, I need that line to stretch off. Now this is just a temporary line. We may well end up ripping this line out when we move from Manchester across to Nottingham. But it's going to be a while before we get to that point, I think. So that gives us plenty of kind of time to play about. with getting a nice lot of tweed created. I'm going to want a passing loop on this line. I'm going to put that halfway along. Make it a decent sized passing loop so I can put a supply tower in the middle of it as well. Put my signals in. There we go. And auto space in the middle. Okay. Supply tower, we'll drop that in about halfway, which will be about there. Let's get the train up and running as quickly as we can. Like that. Liverpool has now grown, so I would like us to be able to put in a tailors. Now the demand for tailors isn't there yet. What do we need? Population of 55,000 people for a tailors to come in. So it's still a bit of a way to go yet. Let's get the rocket up and running over here so we can start producing that tweed. We're gonna duplicate that train going forward, but we're also going to need to expand our weaving factory so that it can produce tweed faster. And that's going to cost us 500 grand. Everything's expensive. So it's going to take us a while to get going. We're going to use whatever cash we have left over now to start getting a second line up over here as well. So this line needs to come out on the inside. Hoping I can actually create, yes, just got enough space to be able to create that junction there. So this is going to run all the way along here like that. And then this is going to need to become this line here. So once we've got enough cash to build this stretch of track, we will demolish this bit here and this junction here. This will then link up with our freight line here. And then the other freight line can come and connect up to this bit of track here, the existing track that we have. It might sound a little complicated. You'll see what I mean once we've got the money to do it. And then we'll create a double junction coming onto our freight line as we did here, for example. We'll get two lines coming in and merging with the freight tracks. We also need to build over towards Birmingham now as well. So you can see this plot of land has now opened up, enabling us to get access to Birmingham. Oxford will be our next stop, and once we've delivered 60 loads of, or created 60 loads of tweed, Oxford and this area will open up, and then from there we'll need to do something to get the next parcel of land ready, and then London will open up and we can connect through to London. That's when it'll start to get interesting, and we'll have to start expanding quite quickly and getting a big network up and running. We're also going to then start getting competition from our other AI competitors. So let's run it nice and fast for a bit. Let the money roll in. Got a promoter. Let's run the promoter in Liverpool so that we can try and improve how fast that city grows, to try and get a tailors put into that spot there. Now, even if we can't pay for the tailors ourselves, if we can at least hopefully get it to a high enough population, it might auto-select a tailor as the choice rather than another tweed facility, which is more than likely what it will go with. I'm going to clone the tweed train. There we go. And there we go. You see, it's put in a tweed factory, which is not what I wanted to happen, but it's kind of inevitable, I suppose. A chance to get some more technology. We're only earning 12 innovation points a month as opposed to the usual 40. So it's going to take us a long time to research stuff. Let's slow time down a bit now. Let's build that bit of track there. Take it to there. Now we can demolish. That's in use. Of course it is. Let's put a signal in behind the train. Hopefully that'll clear up the area. Yes, it does. Excellent. So let's delete this. Like so. So that's our spacer that's sticking out there. This is the freight line. So we're going to extend that to there. Like so. This is the other part of the freight line. So we'll connect that through like that. And that's now automatically connected it to our supply tower just there. This is the pig line. There we go. And that needs to come onto the freight track somewhere down here. I'm actually going to bring this in at that angle, like that. Just looking to see if I can get a more natural. No, I can't. We'll leave it like that. That's actually pretty good. And then this one here, the other part of the passing loop, connects in that way. There we go. So we'll have quite a stretched express points there. It does mean that we can also potentially extend this bit of track a little bit and reposition. Actually, let's leave it like that for now. We can look at repositioning our supply tower. So let me see where the signals are going to shake out here. So that's going to be my stop. That's going to be a go. That's going to be a stop. That's the wrong way round. No, that is the right way. I'm getting confused. There we go. That's better. And that should be that way. And we can take this signal out again. Like that. There we go. And yeah, we can reposition our supply tower. If I take that out, I'm going to have to rebuild the track. So our supply tower can now sit a little bit better in here. I'm actually going to sit the supply tower just about there. Like that. Slightly better position. Take that piece of track out now, that's a spacer piece, don't need that. Take that piece out, that's a spacer piece, don't need that. I do need that there still, so we'll leave that in. In fact, actually, let's build through. That's a little bit more than I need. What I can do is I can take out that spacer piece now. And that spacer piece. Build that through. And now I can take out that spacer piece. It won't let me select. I can't get close enough yet. So a way around that is to just extend this spacer piece a little bit more. And now I can delete the whole thing like that. There we go. So you can see here we have one single supply tower covering 6 lines of track. That's a way we can be quite clever with our planning to do that. So what is the next step for us? Signalling over here. Need to signal this junction here now. So that becomes the top line. That becomes the stop point. We need to respace our signals along here. Like so. Let's take that one out. Make that a go signal. And it's put that train on the wrong line. So it's going to reset that train back to the station there. And reload it. But there we go. We now have a nice supply of materials coming in. We can't continue to grow Liverpool until we get more pigs coming in on a regular basis. We also need to start delivering fish on a regular basis now. So let's see about... Yeah, let's just put a train in. We've already got a passing loop, so we're okay. We don't need to expand on that just yet. There we go. So that'll get fish going into Liverpool and continue to grow Liverpool. We take a look at the demands in here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We've got a lot of products, basically, that all want to go into Manchester. Sorry, into Liverpool, and we're not producing anywhere near enough of them at the moment. Manchester is still growing really, really nicely because we didn't accelerate that town too fast. Well, we have got more product over here that we can bring in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this line out this way. Run that parallel along here. And then I'm going to put in a station somewhere around here, which will then be able to put dairy into Liverpool and also into Manchester. Get some more crops, or more products into those cities that need them. Getting quite a lot of random breakdowns at the moment, which isn't good. I really would like to have a more powerful train. I just don't have the resources to do that yet. I am going to extend this all the way along now. Now that we've got multiple trains running on this, I'm going to bring this line to about here if we can. There we go. Take that signal out. Those are good. Auto space. I don't have enough for a supply tower. But that'll help speed the trains up through this section here. They won't have to wait in the station quite as long now for a train to come through to clear the line in front of them. And it gives me the space for that supply tower so it can keep them running a bit faster as well. So there you can see we've got a train running slow because it hasn't got what it needs. It will do in a second. I'm going to plonk the supply tower just here, like so. So that'll now stop and replenish with water and sand and get that back up to full operating speed again. Good stuff. Right, how are we doing in terms of tweed production? We're getting there. It's a slow process. We need to do this by the end of 1835. We're up to 5 loads. It's not fast enough. We do need to expand that. The quicker we get these tasks done, the more points we get them done. Ideally, we want to aim to get them done by halfway point. So from 1831 to 1835, we kind of want this done sort of mid-1832 to beginning of 1833, really, is when we want to have that task completed, ideally, to get the best possible kind of score for that particular task. Manchester is growing again now that we've got fish going in there. We are meeting just our fulfillment of demand of over 60%. We're at 61. That's going to hit 60,000, which is going to open up the opportunity to put in something on this category here. And that will mean if we put in a museum, that'll really improve our fulfillment of demand options, which is what we're aiming for. Let's put a stoker on this train to improve reliability. Liverpool has grown, so we need 200 grand to be able to buy a museum. Manchester still growing as well. That's up to 55 grand. Much better production of fulfillment of demand over here, as you can see. They're getting everything that they need to sustain good growth in that city. And all of a sudden, our cash is starting to flow quite nicely, which is what we want. Let's put a small station in just here. And let's get this line up and running. That's a very steep gradient. Looking to see if we can improve that any way. The answer is not really. That's the problem sometimes with these hilltop farms, is it makes it very tricky to route stuff to them without putting in gradients. You know what? I'm actually going to tear up a good chunk of this bit of track. If I tear it up here, take that off, and break away sooner, maybe we can get a shallower, cheaper incline. 3% gradients, 2%, and then it goes to 4% there. It's going to be steep no matter which way we do it, but that will work out a little bit cheaper, I think. Yeah, let's build that. Again, we're going to need a passing loop, and this one's going to be built kind of in 2 stages. So we'll have a loop coming out here as before, get that to bend in around here, there we go. I'm going to need another one somewhere over here. That should do it. Let's go with some signals so we can route our traffic effectively. There we go. And same again over here. So it's so nice not to have to build this at the end of every station, using these new ones, and with the automatic routing makes them a joy to use as well. There we go. So we want some freight going in that way. Let the cash roll in a little bit. There we go. And then we want another one to run from Foster Cattle to Manchester, like so. And I'm going to put a stoker on that one. I can't see what the stoker actually does. Let's get the train up and running first of all. And the stoker increases reliability. That's good. I do need to put a repair station, maintenance shed here in Manchester as soon as I can. How's this all running over here? Should be running nice and smooth now. There's one train. Where's the other one? There it is. So those are nicely spaced out, and they're not going to trip over each other. That's good. Manchester to... There it is. Manchester to Liverpool back and forth connection. I want to duplicate that now. Let's go to the original. There it is. Let's put a stoker on that train. And we can do the same on one of these as well, actually, now. It's just going to improve reliability. There we go. So, there's our new kind of extension to our rail network. We're getting there, bit by bit. Starting to earn some cash. I do really need to be able to pay off some improvements as quick as I can, so I can start producing more tweed. It's disappearing as soon as we're making it at the moment, which is good, but just means we haven't got anything trade-wise. Finally we have access to the John Bull. So now we can start upgrading all of our trains. This is going to be an expensive process, but it is going to be worth it. It's going to get our goods moving much, much faster and make our trains much, much more profitable. So let's whiz through upgrading each of these. We'll do it for the passenger trains as well. But the freight trains are the ones that are more important because this has more power and more, in terms of engine power and tractive power as well. So this is going to get our goods moving between our cities a lot faster, and it's the goods that make us the most money. And a security guard we can add on as well for some extra value on that train. New speed record. Next train, Robinson Sea Farm to Liverpool. We'll come back to that one. Wood fattening. Yeah, we want those ones to improve. Slow time down a bit. These are my pick trains. That's my back and forth beef train. Foster cattle. Which one's foster cattle? Oh, that's the dairy. Yes, definitely want to improve that train. That's a long journey as well, with a gradient. Quite a steep gradient. We don't quite have enough for this one. Now we do. Franklin Estates. That's wool. We're not producing that much wool at the moment, so we can actually get away with just running one train. Let's get rid of this line, the duplication line. We don't need that anymore. But we will upgrade that to a John Bull. Passenger services. Yes, that's going to improve how attractive those trains are to passengers. Another one of our freight trains needs an upgrade. It's expensive business when you're trying to upgrade a lot of trains like this. Need to find a freight train that needs a security guard. There we go, there's one. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I just put a security guard on that train, didn't want that there. Let's put him back on this one. There we go. That's what I meant to do, to be able to change the train. I think most of them are going to be John Bulls now. There might only be one train or two that isn't. The Robinson Sea Farm, we could do with upgrading that, but it's not a priority. Let me check all the other trains first. These all look to be Bulls. Yeah, this is the only one that's left. There we go. We've got enough to make... Oh, we did. For a second. There we go. So all of our trains are now running as John Bulls rather than rockets. That's certainly going to give us more speed, more power, and get us making money faster. Excellent stuff. Towns are stagnating a little bit. They are very dependent on certain products not getting there quickly enough, unfortunately. Could possibly do with another passenger train, but we're okay for that right now. I do want to get connected to Birmingham pretty quickly as well. This is where it gets a bit tricky, trying to balance the juggling act of bringing in all of these different goods. Which train is that? That's Foster to Liverpool. That's Foster to Manchester. That's the one we want to duplicate. There we go. So that's going to wait for clearance for this train to load up and disappear. That was going to load up, and it's going to have to wait at various different points for the line to clear. There we go. Good stuff. Let's slow time down again. What have we got? A conductor. Ah, finally we get a conductor. It's the first one that we've had. Let's find one of our expresses. I would like to get an extra one. Where are they all? Are they being serviced? Put a conductor on that train there. Where are the other two? Oh, they're both loading up over there, look. So, looks like one of them's broken down and it's holding up the rest of them. That's the only downside to this signalling, auto-routing of the signals, is that sometimes when you get a breakdown or a problem with a train, it can sometimes just grind the station to a halt until that problem clears itself. Yeah, that train's getting serviced and reloaded. Let's clone it. Got a fourth passenger service up and running. An auctioneer. Don't need an auctioneer. How much cash do we need to clear off one of these bonds? Oh, we've got enough now, look. Bond is now up to 493. That's nice. I don't want to take it out just yet. I'm going to try and hold off a little while if I can. Robinson Sea Farm. Yeah, let's stick a security guard on that train. Weaving factory. Plenty of raw material. We're up to 1831, coming to the end of 1831, and we're still only on 26 loads. It's not enough yet. It's not too bad. We can kind of get away with it as is for now. Manchester's still growing in fits and starts, as you can see. Population of 69,000, just over 70,000 in Liverpool. Let's give Liverpool a bit of a boost when we can with a museum. I also want to get this connection to Birmingham up and running at some point as well. We need 300 grand for the station, and then however much it's going to cost for the track as well. Yeah, it's going to start getting expensive very quickly. I also want to try and move out this way a bit if I can as well. Let's see. The northeast is still locked off, so we've got no access to Middlesbrough or Newcastle yet. Can't go up to Carlisle. Then we start heading up into Scotland, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Dumfries, Ayr. What have we got north of there? We've got Dundee, Aberdeen, Inverness, Fort William, and then all the way up at the top we've got Terso. And then across the channel, or across the Channel, across the Irish Sea, we have Belfast, Derry, two Northern Irish stations, and then into Ireland itself. We have Sligo, Galway, Limerick, Tralee, Cork, Waterford, Kilkenny, Dublin, obviously capital city there. So lots and lots of land still completely blocked out to us. We're still operating in a very small little circle over here at the moment. We're still blocked off from investing in the other companies, I wonder. Yes, we are. All of them. So their value is going up, as is ours. Even though they have... Well, their value is actually staying the same at the moment. But their shares are fluctuating. That's weird. Right, so we're up to 188,000. I'm trying to think where to expand to next. Birmingham would be a good connection to make, but it's not essential at this stage. I'm thinking maybe Leeds. I'm also thinking Nottingham, so we can then link up to Peterborough. Peterborough's blocked off at the moment, but there's no reason why. Let's see, which way do I want the Nottingham station to go? I'm thinking maybe that. This is actually where I live at the moment. I live in Nottingham. Previously, I was born in Rugby, which is about here, sort of between Birmingham and Northampton. Then Coventry is right next door. So this is, the region of the country I was born in Warwickshire, in the Midlands, and this is Nottingham, which is East Midlands. This is where I live now. So this, I think that's the River Trent. This is the River Avon. Over here. At least I think that's the Avon. It's a little hard to know exactly. That, I think, there is the Mersey. Maybe that's the... I'm pretty sure that's the Mersey, just here. Very big. Used to be a very big, port town, Liverpool. Not so much anymore. A lot of the sort of old industries don't really exist in the UK anymore. At one point, Rugby actually used to be a major rail hub here in the UK. It was part of the Great Central Railway as well as the main railways. So it had two main kind of sort of loops that ran through it, and was a very big kind of stopping point for a lot of the freight distribution throughout the country. And then that's all kind of died away, and it's just mainly just a passenger service that runs through there now. There are a few freight trains that pass through. It is still on the direct route to London, so there is a direct run that goes all the way down to London, and it goes from Rugby to Coventry, and then from Coventry down to Luton and London. Or it used to. I haven't run that route for a long time. I haven't lived in Rugby for a long time, so it's possible that some of those lines have changed a little bit. An Inventor. Yes, we'll buy the Inventor. Get some extra points. What new technology can we unlock? I'm going to take this one because the one after that we can then take the interlocking tower, improve our freight fees again. We have 300 grand, so that is enough to buy a station here in Nottingham. Let's see, what's the business in there? It's meat. Where's the nearest pigs? Up in Leeds, up there, which is blocked off, and then there's that one there as well. We could also build in Wrexham, I suppose. We've got access to Wrexham. It's a short run. I don't really want to overcomplicate my network at this stage. Let's just build in Birmingham. Let's get Birmingham connection up and running. So the next stop's going to be sort of Oxford. So I want to kind of point in that direction. If I place the station here. Birmingham now is actually quite a major rail hub for the UK. Birmingham New Street. A lot of services run through there now. It's a very busy station. That's the freight line, isn't it? So that's the passenger line, like that. Build that to there. I'm going to need to put my loop back in along here. If I try and do that, this is my spacer. It's going to cost me 30 grand. I don't have 30 grand. Out of cash. Again, already. I'm trying to let the value of bonds go up a bit more before I take another one out again. Let's do that. And now I can run my freight line with a nice natural kind of curve in the line. Run that around to there. Make sure that that connects all the way along here. There we go. Need those lines to be parallel in construction so that we can get another multi-platform signal supply tower in. If you build two lines and then put a gap in and then build two more lines along after that, it doesn't always work. It can be very, very finicky. So it's easier to build extra lines like this and then take out the lines you don't want afterwards. Once you've got your supply tower in, get that in first, then remove all the excess stuff. That seems to work the best. So we need more cash. I'm going to have to run a bit faster again for a while. There we go. That's the upper freight line. That'll connect up towards Manchester, I guess. Although I might run that to Nottingham. I think I probably will do that. And then we'll rework the way that this is picked up and delivered into Manchester. We've got a few kind of things that we're going to need to change about our network going forward. Let's get these lines connected as well. This is my main freight line. Still out of cash again. How are we doing for demand for meat? We're doing okay. Pick up another bit of technology. We've got a connection bonus. We'll try and take advantage of that. We're just going to put a basic station in. Now, apparently this is supposed to be have been fixed where you can no longer keep claiming a bonus for the same city over and over again, but it does seem to still allow us to do that. So I'm not quite sure why that is the case, but I'm not going to knock it. Money is tight. If I can build the get the connection bonus and then claim everything back again, and then do that again later, I will do. So I need 56 grand to build that connection. This is for 133,000 bonus, which is going to be hugely important for us. Big amount of cash like that. A little bit more. There we go. So let's build the route. Money's gone up, and now we can take out the expensive line and station addition. And look at that, we're up to 250 grand. Let's continue connecting our rail lines over here. So get the passenger lines in. Now why is that doing that? They're not spaced properly anymore for some reason. is that? Why are they kinked? Maybe it's just being finicky because of the terrain. I think that might be it. There we go. The other thing I found is a really nice side effect of having our lines running parallel like this is that when you get a slight change in elevation like this, and we have slightly recessed tracks, and then you put recessed tracks along the other side, you get this nice little kind of small earth separation between the lines, or between the sets of lines. It just looks really nice. I like it. So we need to kind of repeat the process that we've done over here, but on this side now, and get these passenger lines connected up. So let's bring this line around here, all the way around here, to the edge of the bridge. There we go. We're going to do the same here, and then just make sure that that runs parallel. There we go. And then again with this line here, make sure that that runs parallel. And this is where it gets a bit more complicated. So I need this to kind of come on here, and hope that I'm going to have enough room for that to link up. And see, look, the radius is just a little bit too tight around that point. It's not going to like that, so we need to take that out and try again. So this time we'll do it from the inside. See if we can get a nice cleanish kind of connection. And what makes it tricky is that if we get too close to the bridges, it creates that turmoil and pushes the lines apart. This is why I wanted this to be as tight as I could get it without being too tight. That might be okay. A bit of a weird kink, but we might get away with it. Yes, we do. We get away with that. Okay, so I can live with that. It's not as clean as I would have liked, but it works. That's the important thing. So we need to signal the passenger lines. So that's the outward line. That's the inward line. Which means that's going to need a directional putting in. There we go. So we have two sets of rail, passenger lines merging here. Then we have a freight line coming in here, and a freight line coming in here, and then all of those lines will then be automatically routed up through the signalling section here to go onto whichever platform they need to. This will allow us to get a really nice, good link between Liverpool and Birmingham, and then eventually down to Oxford and then London. Let's see. Let's auto signal the rest of this once I've put those ones in place. There we go. I'm going to take... This is where it gets a little bit funky again, because we have that junction there which kind of throws the spacing off a bit. So I'm going to take that one out and that one out. Actually, no, I can leave those ones in. Possibly. No, I'll take them out. I'll take these ones out as well. Bring those in line over here. Like that. So we've got spacing equal there. And then they're all going to run over to here. Something's not right. Oh, I know what's missing. The other half of my freight line is missing. To there. And again, we're out of cash. And we're pretty much out of time as well. So we'll get this completed and then link up wood fattening to our freight line over here because we're going to need to run pigs into Birmingham next time out, and continue our expansion through the heart of the country on our route down towards London. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Railway Empire, Great Britain and Ireland very soon.